Megas are back, and here are some I'd like to see new ones for in Pokemon Legends ZA. Raichu. I'm not the biggest fan of Mega Evolution in the world, but even I can admit some are really cool. For my list, these are mostly free-stage evolution Pokemon, as I'm not a fan of Pokemon that aren't free-stage getting a Mega, as it feels like it'll restrict them from getting another evolution in the future. I know this is Pokemon and they can do whatever they want though, like Duraludon getting a Gigantamax form and yet a new Evo in the following generation. Anyway, while Pikachu gets a lot of special treatment, it means its older brother Raichu is left in the dust usually. Sure, it had the Alolan form people loved, and I was shocked we even got that, but it would be nice if this electric rat got some more attention just to even things out a little bit more. The Gen 2 starters / Typhlosion in particular. I don't think Typhlosion deserves another form that much since it just got the Hisuian form, but for the sake of my OCD, if the other two Gen starters do get a Mega Evolution because they're the starters of Legends ZA, please give Typhlosion one too so it's not left out. If it's left out, then it would be the only starter from the first 3 generations without a Mega, and that would bother my brain so much. Slowbro got a Mega. This is its different generation counterpart. It felt kinda weird Slowking didn't get a Mega back when Megas were a thing. It would feel even weirder if we got new Megas and it still didn't get one. Kingdra is already a good Pokemon, so it doesn't really need a Mega, but it would be cool if the only Gen 2 Dragon got one, especially since Gen 2 was the only generation that didn't have a pseudo-legend Dragon type. Slacking is already ridiculously powerful. I'd find it hilarious if they just gave the extra stats to its attack, and maybe some to speed and defense to make this even more unstoppable. I always gave my Slacking Hyper Beam in Gen 3 so it would one-shot everything, and negate its Truant ability since I could just swap it out. Let's get the obvious one out of the way. People have been begging for Mega Flygon since before they got their hands on X and Y, and especially Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. It being confirmed it was a Pokemon they planned to give a Mega to, but had Artist Block at the time, only makes people want this Mega Evolution more. It's been a decade, hopefully within that time a good idea has came up for what it can look like. Flygon is a Pokemon that could easily be more than 2 types, if that was a thing Pokemon allowed, so I wouldn't be shocked if it had a Mega Evolution that one of its types would change. The Sinnoh Evolution one, but Magmortar and Electivire in particular would be awesome! Each of their stages of evolution were introduced in different generations, so giving them a Mega in yet another generation would be so fitting. As a separate cross-gen Evo mention, Frostlass. Like Slowking, it's a counterpart. In this case, it's a counterpart to Glalie that got a Mega, and I think it just makes sense to give it one to make things feel more even. Gen 5 was really underrepresented, probably because when X and Y were coming out, Gen 5 were panned by the Pokemon community. Scolipede I strangely always loved. I hate centipedes because legs! But Scolipede is just cool, and Gen 5 really helped the bug type out. Make this thing longer, and I can't believe I'm saying this, but give this thing even more legs! Vanillux probably isn't the Pokemon a lot of people would pick from Gen 5, but its design just seems super fitting for a Mega Evolution. Just add more to its design. Maybe add toppings, turn it into a full-on bowl of ice cream, I don't know, another cone. Whatever, you can come up with so much for this Pokemon, it's so basic. Its Evos already just make it bigger ice cream each time, so add even more to it, and maybe give it Fairy type since a lot of food Pokemon are Fairy type. Haxorus is often mistaken as a pseudo-legendary, and it makes sense why. Its design, it being a 3-stage dragon, and Axew kind of being out of the way to catch in black and white. Its head has an axe built into it, so I say, add to the size of that axe. Make it as unsubtle as possible, and let this mon swing its head around. I'm putting these as a single entry, the Gen 6 starters. No Gen 6 Pokemon got a Mega Evolution, other than Diancie. If any Pokemon deserve Megas, it's the starters of the games Mega Evolutions were introduced in. Aegislash is very popular, and I kind of think this one just has a good chance of getting a Mega Evolution anyway. It's kind of like Vanillux in the sense that it just added more with each evolution. A sword? Bam! 2 swords. 2 swords? Bam! 2 swords and a shield. Bam! I don't have any specifics that I want to be included in a Mega Evolution of Aegislash. A big benefit of bringing Mega Pokemon back now is Gen 7 through 9, which simply didn't get any new Mega Evos, will have a chance to get them. That said, there aren't many I personally want from these generations. Vikavolt Pokedex entry always claims it's fast. Honestly, keep it the same stat-wise and give all of the boosting stats to its speed, and I'll be happy, at least in terms of its stats. Coalossal is actually a Mega I think should be a little more different than a usual Mega. Most Megas just add more detail and extra bits to an existing Pokemon's concept, but with Gigantamax Coalossal, that was basically just more Coalossal. I think its Mega should go fully into the train aspect, and turn this guy into a full-on train. Grimmsnarl is already creepy, so I think turn it up to 11, and maybe add a few Grimm's Fairy Tale references into its design while doing so. Tinkaton is the only Gen 9 Pokemon here. It's a new gen, and most Pokemon from this generation didn't have 3 stages, so I'd want a lot of Pokemon from this generation to just get regular evolutions, or even pre-evolutions I guess for the overly strong ones. The obvious choice for this generation for a Mega Evolution for me is Tinkaton. Just give it an even bigger and more over-designed hammer. Well, that's 20-ish entries covered. I kinda see the starter entries as singular entries in this list, but I also kinda don't, which is gonna make this video awkward to title. But by now you'll have seen whatever I decided to go with. Please like, subscribe, and tell me which Megas you'd like to see in the comments. Interaction/engagement helps my videos out with the YouTube algorithm. Anyway, that's all for this video, and until next time, bye I guess.